Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Toni and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. And I'm gonna talk today about co-ops, the pros, the cons, and whether or not it's really worth it. A homeschool co-op is one of those things that you kind of either love or you hate, and I'm gonna share my experience with that. I've been a homeschooling mom for 8 years. I've been in co-ops and I've had seasons where I have not been in co-ops. And I'm gonna share some of the factors that I think are really important to keep in mind when you're deciding whether to join a co-op or not. I'm also gonna share some of the classes that I have taught that I've absolutely loved. So if you want some ideas and you wanna know whether or not it's even a good idea to join a co-op, then stay tuned. So, should I join a co-op? Is it even worth it? Okay, let's get into that. Today's video is part of a collaboration with Anna over at Just Making It Work, who I love. She is one of my favorites. And I'm so excited that she is hosting this co-op. She's not hosting a co-op. I'm so excited that she's hosting this collab with me and a bunch of other homeschool moms. Anna is a homeschool mom of 6, and I've called her before the Queen of Home Management because she is. Not only is she amazing at homeschooling, she's starting to share some of her wisdom with homeschooling as well as home management and just family logistics, like large family logistics. I love her channel. So if you are not subscribed to her yet, go head over there and check out her channel because she's great. And I know there's gonna be a handful of moms that are gonna be a part of this collaboration, so check out the playlist when you're done here. We all have different experiences, we all have wisdom about different things, and I guarantee you there's gonna be some that like co-op and there's gonna be some that don't. So I'm really excited to hear all that. Also, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, why not? I would love it if you would subscribe and be a part of our Thrifty Homeschool. I'm not sending you any emails. You're not gonna get anything from me except for videos and getting notified. Hey, Toni's got another video coming out this week. So I just want to throw that out there in case some of you have never subscribed. Now you know it's really not a big deal. Let's move on to co-ops. So you know how they say, do you want the good or the bad first? I'm one of those people who I always I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way. I don't know, I guess it depends on the day. We're gonna do the cons first, okay? Because there's pros and there's cons. The cons, there's some big ones, but it's not a long list. So we're gonna go ahead and share the cons. So hold on, what is a co-op? Is there anybody out here who's wondering what is a co-op? Because you might be like, what is she even talking about? So typically a co-op is a group of homeschoolers that get together. Typically, I think most co-ops, they meet weekly for like a semester. They teach classes. So your kids actually take classes. It's usually mom taught or parent taught. Sometimes there's dads that teach too. And that's basically what it is. It's kind of just an addition to your homeschool. The co-op that we go to and that we've typically always done is basically just a once a week co-op where we just take classes. Moms teach classes. We have all kinds of random classes, and I will share some of those classes with you at the end of this video in case you're a mom that has to teach a class and you're like, I don't know what to teach. I'm gonna share some of my favorite classes with you. So that's what a co-op is. You usually pay some sort of fee, like a yearly fee, maybe a semester fee. Sometimes you have to pay for supplies or something like that. Then at the end of the semester, there's a presentation night for ours. I don't know if all of them do this, but that's what we do. So there's a presentation night and the kids get up and they get to talk about everything that they've learned this semester. Sometimes they'll put on, we've had drama classes where they would put on a play. There have also been times where like the gym class would get up and they would present some different things that they learned in their gym class. And the presentation night is for parents and it's for grandparents to come see what their kids have been doing. So it's neat when your kids are not in school and they don't have like the end of the year assembly or something like that. That is basically what this is, but for homeschoolers. So it's really cool. Okay, now that we know what a co-op is, let's talk about the cons. So the first con that is a big one. It is a reason why I was not in a co-op for a while, for quite a few years. And it is because for the most part, co-ops happen during nap time. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's because they want to be able to do schoolwork in the morning. All the co-ops I've ever been a part of, it starts at 1 o'clock. And if you are someone like me, we're not in the nap time phase anymore. But back when we were, I was a strict nap time mom. 1 o'clock, everybody lays down for nap. So it's difficult when you have to be at co-op and it starts at 1. You're gonna have cranky kids. You're gonna have a cranky mom. By the time you get home, probably everybody's gonna be crying, or at least the little ones. It is hard. So that is one reason to keep in mind that you might not want to join a co-op. If you have little ones or you have ones that need a nap every single day and you are someone that relies on that quiet time, that might be a season you might want to sit out. And number 2, this is not a huge thing, but just adding to your life that's probably already busy being a homeschool mom. You're already doing all the homeschool stuff. You're doing the mom stuff. You're doing keeping your family up, above water, keeping your house clean, all that stuff. Co-op is another thing sometimes to prep for, whether you're the teacher or whether it's just packing backpacks, packing snacks, making sure everybody has everything they need, getting everybody loaded up and then to co-op on time. It's a big deal if you have whether you have 2 kids or whether you have 6 kids, loading everybody up, getting everything ready, possibly getting ready to teach a class and getting that prepared before co-op and making sure you know what you're doing. It is an extra thing. So if you can't handle anything extra on your plate right now, that might not be a good time to do co-op. You may want to wait until life is a little bit freer and a little bit easier to add something to. Okay, the third thing that is a con of co-op. Now, not all co-ops are the same, but if you teach a class that you don't like, or you're stuck in a grade or age group that you don't like, you're gonna dread going to co-op. Now, I don't know how all co-ops work, but for us, the co-op we're in, we get to sign up for classes. So if I do not like, this is my example. I basically had a baby on and off for about 8 years. So it was, we had every 2 years I had a kid. I've got 4 kids. So about 8 years where somebody was a baby. For me, the last thing I want to teach is nursery. It's just not, and I know that might sound terrible, I don't know, but there's some people that love babies and want to be around babies. I do not want to be in the nursery. I do not want to change diapers. I'm out of that phase. I will probably get back into it at some point, but right now, that's not something I want to teach. So if I got stuck in nursery, that would be kind of a dread for me every week, just because of the stage of life I'm in right now. Also, if you don't like first graders or second graders, and not that you don't like them, okay, that's not what I meant. If you don't want to teach first and second grade, if that is not your forte, and that is not your strength, and maybe you don't have the patience for little ones that are learning how to write and learning how to cut, you might not want to sign up for that class, for that age group. You might rather be with high schoolers, or the other way around. You might not want to deal with high schoolers, so maybe you'd rather be with little ones. So my point is, if you either sign up for whatever's left and you get stuck in an age or a class that you don't like, it might be kind of a dread. And there have been years where I just kind of got placed. I was afraid to teach, so I did, like, I was a helper in whatever class, and there were times where I was just like, oh, I don't want to go to co-op today because I didn't enjoy what I was helping with, or I didn't necessarily enjoy the age group. So that is one other con. If you don't get to choose, or for whatever reason you're stuck in a class that you don't like, or you teach whatever they tell you to teach and maybe that's not something you want to teach, that could make it very difficult and unenjoyable. So those are the cons. Really not that big of a deal and stuff that you really can control for the most part, but those are some things to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the pros. The first pro is a major reason why I choose to go to co-op, and it's because my kids are exposed to things that I either don't want to teach or it's not my strength. And there's other moms or dads who that is their strength and they teach those things to my kids. So we're talking art class, gym class, science experiments, anything messy that maybe at your house you're like, I do not want to do that. They get to do it at co-op. It's awesome. So drama class, that's one of those things that we had at our co-op last year. And I guarantee most of those moms aren't doing, let's put on a play today at home, but they can do that at co-op. And they got to see their kids be exposed to this thing that they probably wouldn't be exposed to at their house. So that is so great. That is one huge thing, your kids being exposed to new things you want them exposed to, but maybe you can't teach. Sewing, we had a sewing class 2 years ago. I have a sewing machine. I can sew very, very minimal. They learned how to make like this drawstring backpack and a couple other things, and it was so cool. A pillow, I think, and maybe something else. But my daughter took off with sewing and was sewing every day because of this co-op class. And that's something that mom really couldn't teach. So that's huge. The second pro about a co-op, joining a co-op, would be your child is exposed to new friends of their age or similar ages of them in kind of a classroom setting, which you don't get at home unless you have twins. Your kids are probably different ages. And so your 10-year-old might not be with other 10-year-olds very often, maybe at church, but you never know. Like my 10-year-old, she doesn't have any other 10-year-old friends at church. Her friends are either a little bit older or a little bit younger. And at co-op, a lot of times there's a good chance there's gonna be other 10-year-old girls in her class. So it's a really good chance for them to get together with other friends that are the same age or make new friends that are similar ages with them, which is something if they went to school, you know, they might have 20 other 10-year-olds in their class. But you don't get that with homeschool. And that is why co-op is so great and so important. The last pro is a very important pro. And sometimes the mom puts herself last. Well, pretty much always we put ourselves last, right? Mom needs socialization too. And you might have friends, you might have a great church. We have a great church, and we actually have a lot of homeschoolers in our church. But you know what? We have a mom's hour. So you're supposed to teach on 1 hour, and the other hour, you're in a mom's hour. And that is where the moms get together, and sometimes they'll have discussions. Sometimes we've done lately where we've read a book together and had like a book discussion on a hopeful like mom book or a homeschool book or something like that. And it's so awesome. With all these like-minded moms, it's so cool if you share your struggle and these other moms really know what you're talking about. And it's a weekly thing. I love it. I loved the mom's hour. And it's all like every semester you get different moms. And you're there and it's gonna happen as long as you walk into that classroom and you go talk to those moms. Where at home, if you're not a part of a co-op, you've got to make that happen. You've got to plan play dates. You've got to make sure that you go, you know, meet other moms or whatever it is. And sometimes that's hard. So this is really nice to have it scheduled in to go hang out with moms, like-minded homeschool moms. And it's just an encouragement. It's a huge encouragement for me and I absolutely love it. So those are the basic pros and cons that I can think of. What I'm going to share now are some things to teach. So the 2 things to remember are teach a subject that you are going to enjoy, and teach an age group that you are going to enjoy. Those are big. Now, sometimes I think that is the hardest part where people can be like, I don't know what to teach. I don't want to teach or whatever it is. Here's some ideas. One thing that I taught that I really did, I enjoyed it. It will be a while before I teach it again because of the age group. It was kindergarten through 3rd, I think, which is a big span because there's some kids that don't even know how to cut. And then you have 3rd graders who are already done with their projects. So it is hard when it's a big span like that. But I taught a 5 in a row class and that was really fun. We read a book, we did these projects, all the printables were online. If you want something really easy to teach and you like that age group of maybe like kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, maybe 3rd grade, check out 5 in a row. Okay, here's an example. I just got this from the library book sale the other day. I was so excited. If you missed that video, I will link that above because we did so great. I was so excited. So anyway, this is called How to Make an Apple Pie and See the World. This is a book that I did with my girls when they were little, when we did 5 in a row. And it's something where you read it every single day for a week. And then you do all these different projects. Obviously, you're only meeting 1 day a week for co-op, but you can still read the book together. And that was really sweet. The kids all sat in front of me and I would read the book together. Then we'd go back to the tables and we would do a couple different projects. So sometimes it would be a coloring page, depending on the age of the kids. Sometimes it'd be cutting and pasting. Sometimes you could do something with food. You're talking about an apple pie that would be related to this. And then they've got all these projects that they bring home and tell everybody at dinner time about the book, and it's more memorable when they've got stuff to go with it. So that is a really fun, super easy class, and there's tons of stuff online that you could do with that. Okay, if you're a book lover, this is a class you've got to teach. So book club, that is a class that I taught and I loved it. I chose a book that I knew was appropriate. I can't remember what age it was for. I feel like it was like 4th through 8th maybe or something. It was kind of a big span, but I had to make sure it was a book that didn't have anything bad in it and it was interesting enough. So the book we used was Island of the Blue Dolphins. And what we did was I assigned a chapter or sometimes 2 chapters each week for the kids to read. They had to read it. So this was a class where they did have homework. I had to read it too. So mom had homework too. So we read a chapter and then I had questions. And I just searched Island of the Blue Dolphin printable worksheets or something like that. And I printed out something. I had all these questions and we had discussion questions that I asked. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a book I had not read before. I brought a snack every week. So it's just like kind of like a grown-up book club, but we did it with kids. And it was just sitting around and talking about a good book. Okay, I'm gonna share 2 more classes that I've taught that I really loved. One was Bible trivia. This was the easiest class in the world to teach, and it was so fun. They all brought their Bible. So what I did was we did sword drills, you know, where they hold up the Bible, I say the verse, then I say go, everybody opens their Bible and tries to find the verse. Whoever stands up first reads out the verse, and it was a fun competition. They loved it. I also came up with these two really fun activities. A lot of it was kind of competition, but I bought a cheap Jenga set, like one of those non-brand ones from Dollar General or something, and I wrote all the verses on these, and they had to line them up like this across in order. And so it was such a good way to just practice. And usually I did boys against girls. So the boys would have to line these up and see if they got them in order. And then the girls, and then they'd swap. The girls, whoops, I had this string that I tied one to the window, and then one, me or my helper did it, would hold the other side. And then I had these little clothespins. This stuff was so cheap. So I wrote the name of the books of the Bible on these. And then they just have to, so then they would have to work together as a team and clip these on this string like this in order of the books of the Bible. And it was a good competition. Like we would check, let me see if I can show you. See like that, those are not in order, but you know. So they would have this all lined up, and then we'd come and check and be like, oh, you've got something out of order, you guys gotta check. And we timed them, and sometimes it would just be beat your time from last week. It was so fun, and they had so much fun with this. And the other thing was that I used were these little popsicle sticks, and this was for the New Testament, so we did some Old Testament, some New Testament, and these were the ones, we lined these up across the floor, and they had to put these in order of how they are in the Bible. So we had those. The Jenga blocks, actually, we did play Jenga with it, and when they pulled it out, they had to put them in order. You can do all kinds of fun, easy games. Games are so fun. But the kids loved this class. I really think for the most part, they all loved it because the parents told me that. It took like no prep work. I also had a Bible trivia book that I bought at a thrift store, all these questions. And so I would ask questions about characters in the Bible or about different things that happen, or all these different Bible trivia questions. That was another fun thing. And so I just switched it up. We did something different each week, and it was really fun. And they're learning about the Bible. We memorized Bible verses together. Super easy and super fun. Okay, I saved the best for last. This was my most favorite class that I've ever taught, and I just taught it this past semester. I taught a photography class. It was just Photography 101, and it was for, I think it was 6th through 8th grade. And I actually have a background in photography. I took photography classes in high school, and then in college I took some professional photography classes. So I know enough about it to teach it, and I love it. And so it was really, really fun. I'm gonna show you the project really quick that we did because it was so great. I will show you my daughter's because hers turned out so good. She took the class, my daughter Sienna. So we just have a little book like this, and there's 2 stories in this book. So it's just craft paper and string. You open it up and it says the story of a lantern. So they had to pick an object, and the object is gonna be all color pictures. So the story of a lantern. So she took a picture of the lantern in its place. Then she took a picture of the lantern in our freezer, and this was the object in a strange place. Then it was the object outside. Look at that. A 7th grader took that picture. I loved it. She did so great. Then it was the object on a book. Everybody had to do the object on a book, and then she actually was real creative and got a picture of the papers flying. Then it was the object up close, and it was her object far away. Isn't that beautiful? A picture of the object in the library. So the other story is a person. So one story is the object and one story is a person. So at the end they're gonna meet. So the end of this one is her person and the object meeting. So I'm gonna show you real quick her person. Same assignment. So the opposite side is the story of a girl. So this was the girl doing something that she loves. So that's her sister baking. These were all black and white pictures. We're supposed to do her person laughing. Then she's supposed to do her person outside. I love that. Isn't that cool? Then she was supposed to do her person reading a book, which she was very creative and had the papers flying while her person was reading a book. And she had her person, this was a close-up, I think, of her person, but her person far away. Then her person in the library, just like she had her object in the library. Then in the middle, they meet. So now, so this is how the middle looks. One side of the book went this way and one side of the book went this way. This was her final product. So she's got girl meets lantern, and then she's got lantern meets girl. So that, I can't handle how beautiful that picture is. So that's her girl meeting the lantern outside, and then you flip it this way and you've got the lantern meeting the girl. So anyway, super cheap, really easy project that these kids could do at home. I loved it. It was a very fun class to teach. Every week I would have them practice. So we'd either go outside and they would just take pictures of each other outside, or, you know, we do action shots inside. We did close-ups, all kinds of stuff. If you are not a photography expert, you can easily go online and get kind of the basics of photography, and you can teach it. It's really not that hard. A lot of these kids used phones. Some of them used cameras, but a lot of these kids used phones, and they took really great pictures. The other thing that we did, we added some cinematography, which kind of brought in my love for YouTube. And we did I can't show you because it's other kids, but we did a really cool, like a Charlie Chaplin style, black and white, sped up, really cool movie showing everything that we did. It was like 4 minutes long. I took a video of the kids showing me like lighting, like they held up the picture lighting and they showed different things. I wish I could show you guys, but it turned out really cool. So we just made a movie at the end, and that's what we showed at presentation night. It was so fun. It was really, really cool. So that was my favorite class that I've taught. There's a couple cons to co-op, but if you're not in that season of babies, I really think it's worth it. Find a co-op you love. We were in a co-op one other time that I didn't love. It was not, for us, I want it to be a Christian co-op, and ours is a Christian co-op. You have to sign your statement of faith to be a part of it. So I know who's teaching my kids. So put some real thought into it. If there is no co-op in your area, because I know some of you are gonna say, I don't have a co-op in my area, I wish there was. Start one. Years ago, between that one co-op that I didn't like and finding this co-op, there was a time where I just wanted to get together have my kids get together with another mom. I have a friend that I met. She had 4 girls at the time. I had 3 girls. We got together once a week and we did science experiments together, just our families. And so you can do that. If you have one other family or 2 other families that you know, get together with them once a week. Start a co-op. It's really not as scary as it sounds, but it can be done. I really think it's important for your kids. I really think it's important for mom. Mom needs this just as much as the kids do. So let me know what you guys think. Are you a part of a co-op? And what kind of co-op is yours? Do you like co-ops? Or are you in that season of like, no, I can't handle this right now? I hope that you guys found this helpful. I really just like sharing with you our experiences, and ours have been mostly all good. And I hope that you guys found some value in this. Don't forget to check out the playlist. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I always appreciate when you guys do that. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and then check out that playlist and see what Anna over at Just Making It Work and all these other moms, what they think about co-ops. I can't wait to hear what they say. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.